What if I told you that introverts often make some of the best communicators, connectors, and networkers? Yes, you heard me right. The people who are often labeled as shy, quiet, reserved, or socially awkward can become some of the most thoughtful, memorable, and impactful communicators in any room. So, if you've ever said, I'm just not a people person, networking drains me, I'm not as charismatic as everyone else is, maybe I'm just not cut out for this, well, this video is for you because today you'll discover why introverts often make some of the best communicators and connectors. You learn the surprising science behind how your brain is wired and why social interactions can feel mentally exhausting. If you stay till the end, I'll share with you a simple networking strategy and a powerful technique backed by Harvard research that makes conversations feel easier, more natural, and can make you instantly more likable and help you build stronger connections and confidence. Hi, I'm Natasha, public speaking and communication coach. What I'm about to share in this video comes from my new book, Extrovert Me, An Introvert's Guide to Confident Networking. I wrote this book because I know what it feels like to stay quiet. Even though I'm not an introvert, I used to be afraid to speak up in meetings, and I used to turn down speaking opportunities. I held my ideas back, and I held myself back. As a result, I was often overlooked, not because I lacked talent, but because others never had the chance to hear my voice. I've since worked with many introverts who believed staying in the background was simply their lot in life. They were told that being introverted put them at a disadvantage. Well, I wrote this book to challenge that belief. Being introverted is not a limitation. It is actually a strength. And with the right tools and strategies, you can communicate with confidence, build meaningful relationships, and create the impact you were meant to make. The truth is, your introversion is not a weakness. It may actually be the greatest communication superpower that you have. Let's dive in. Point number one, get rid of the labels. Let's start with the labels. Somewhere along the way, you may have been told you're quiet. You need to be more outgoing. You should speak up more. You need to be more extroverted. And after hearing that enough times, you started believing it. You put yourself in a box. You say, I'm an introvert, so I can't network. I'm shy, so I won't be good on stage. I'm quiet, so people won't notice me. But that's simply not true. Being introverted does not mean you lack confidence or the ability to communicate. It means your energy works differently. Simon Sinek uses a brilliant analogy. He says introverts wake up each day with a limited number of coins. He calls them 5 gold coins. Every conversation or meeting or social interaction, it costs them a gold coin. By the end of the day, they have no gold coins. Whereas an extrovert wakes up with no gold coins, and after every interaction, they get a gold coin. They go to bed feeling rich. And that honestly explains a lot. So if you've ever left a networking event feeling like your battery went from 100% to 2%, nothing's wrong with you. You've just spent all your coins. The key is to spend them wisely. That was tip number one. If that resonates with you, then comment, I'm going public. And I want to ask you something simple. Please subscribe and share this video if it helps you. It truly means a lot. When you subscribe, you're not just supporting the channel, you're helping this message to reach someone who still is sitting in silence, waiting for permission to speak. Together, we're building something bigger than a video. We're helping more people find their voice to step forward and make a meaningful difference in this world. Okay, point number two. Your brain is built for deeper thinking. Here is something truly fascinating. Research suggests that introverts often have increased blood flow in areas of the brain associated with planning, reflection, and analytical thinking. Many also tend to have thicker gray matter in parts of the prefrontal cortex. In simple terms, your brain processes information deeply. That's why you think before you speak. You mentally rehearse conversations. You reflect carefully on what was said. You notice details others miss. This is a gift, but deep processing requires energy. So after long meetings and conferences and networking events, you may feel mentally exhausted. Meanwhile, someone else is saying, "That was so amazing. Let's keep going." And you're thinking, "Where is the nearest quiet room and a cup of tea?" That's not a flaw. It's how your brain is wired. And once you understand that, you can stop fighting yourself and start working with your natural strengths. Here's point number 3. Introverts have a secret advantage. In a Harvard study, researchers wanted to understand what makes people more likable in conversations. They discovered that it wasn't the people who talked the most or who told the most interesting stories who made the strongest impressions. In some of the research, they actually included speed dating experiments. And this is what they found. They found that people who asked more follow-up questions were rated more likable and were more likely to get a second date. Why? Not because they were more entertaining, not because they were more charismatic, but because they made the other person feel seen, heard, and genuinely understood. That is a powerful insight. You have great listening skills. That is so important, but taking it to the next level is what truly sets you apart, and that is when you focus on asking thoughtful follow-up questions. And the best part is, it doesn't require more energy. You simply listen carefully and ask meaningful questions based on what the other person already shared. The same principle applies to networking. People are naturally drawn to those who show genuine interest in them. That is where introverts have tremendous advantage. You tend to listen deeply, observe carefully, and ask thoughtful questions. Instead of worrying about saying something brilliant, focus on being curious. Ask questions like, how did you get into that? What did you enjoy most about your work? Tell me more about that. When you help people to feel heard, they remember you. And that makes you incredibly powerful in conversations and in networking. So if you've ever felt like your quiet nature was holding you back, I want you to know this. Your voice matters. Your ideas matter. And the world needs what you have to say. You don't need to become someone else. You simply need the right tools and the right strategies. Order a copy of Extrovert Me and Introvert's Guide to Confident Networking using the link below. And remember, some of the most powerful voices in the world are not the loudest. They are the ones who speak with purpose, with power, and with clarity.